Yeah, yo, yo, yo. Yeah, nguvu senindala na ngula chilo. Oke boze tulive na kuyalelo devyo bayepi. Amita pendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoto bula kwibukisha. Kana depochimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Abazunga wajita katongi Nagula kwibukiza kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Neseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba baba ume Iyaba baba ume
Kateka wa bantu Twakulila, lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shove
baba ume Ale filamba Fyena minta pengo sile Eti kume mokula dolole avale Lilo wingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Iseko wingi mwakwete Mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
Katusi muchi wakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatu jatuleli lake Mupanga chiba
Penda Upanga mwine Kolya mwine Ine lalila
Yangu ya mama ume Ala nacho mwabye Mama Ukula bebyo wachito mwingi Ivisebo wapangini okwingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama Kutituwa na basiani Chakwa katuse
He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about. He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about.
Time to bury. The coffin was smashed Most people think we smashed it because it came from the government. No.
That's what I want to hear as well.
No.
Yeah.
No. My father,
the
broken coffin was put in the grave.
Uh-huh.
But we could not bury my father in that coffin because meaning he was from the royal line.
Right.
And when you're from that line, you are buried in a cattle hide nempasa. And that was the tradition we were following because those were my father's instructions.
Nothing to do with politics.
No, it was not political.
That maybe you were furious
no.
because your father had been
persecuted
by
and no.
I see.
It was tradition. That part was tradition.
Right.
When it came to, shall we give the speech, blah, 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 now the president of the Republic of Zambia will stand up and make a speech. My sister stood up and said, there will be no speeches. And Kaunda was already standing at the microphone.
He was about to speak.
He was about to speak. She said, there will be no speeches. You will not speak.
How dare you that you can approach the sitting head of state who is about to start speaking
yes.
and you tell him you can't speak?
You can't speak.
You did that?
Yes.
Wow.
And credit to Kaunda.
Mm.
He turned around and he went and sat down. Right. It must have been not pleasant for him.
Yeah.
But he did it. He, as far as we were concerned, honored our wishes. He listened to what we wanted.
So that was a private funeral?
It was a state funeral. It was a state funeral.
It was a state funeral?
Yes. The government said, they asked us,
but
can we make it into a state funeral? They asked us all those questions, yes. But it was a state funeral. But we still said you cannot speak.
Wow.
And he didn't. And he did not speak. And let me say this. You know, losing a father publicly is a very difficult thing.
Right.
Yeah? How to handle the grief and all that is a very difficult thing. But what happened after that is that I think both KK and ourselves left the door open because it takes time when you're in grief to come to now saying, okay, now I can talk to this person who offended me.
Right.
It takes time. But ultimately, fast forward, one afternoon we're sitting there. In fact, even when Kaunda lost power, we went to see him. Yes, we sat there. We used to go and see him. We'd sit and laugh the whole afternoon.
If I cannot move out of my country, Zambia, to go for medication at my own expense, and I'm pulled out of a plane to say, go back home and die, that for me constitutes house arrest. I will not die a peaceful death if I was to die today without restoring PF to what it is. By the way, I've been saying to people who want me to reconcile with the president that, look, the only way we can start talking about reconciliation is for the man to begin restoring democracy. And how he restores democracy to me is by restoring the legitimate leadership into PF where we were on 23rd October 2023, where we had elected leaders like myself as president and others, including our SGs and everybody. Once he restores that, he tells his people in the civil service to say, guys, can you correct this? The register's record to show the true reflection of the leadership of the party. Then we're on our way to go. They've done that with other political parties as a system, and I can't allow that. So if I cannot move out of my country, Zambia, to go for medication at my own expense, and I'm pulled out of a plane to say, go back home and die, that for me constitutes house arrest. I will not die a peaceful death if I was to die today without restoring PF to what it is. By the way, I've been saying to people who want me to reconcile with the president that, look, the only way we can start talking about reconciliation is for the man to begin restoring democracy. And how he restores democracy to me is by restoring the legitimate leadership into PF where we were on 23rd October 2023, where we had elected leaders like myself as president and others, including our SGs and everybody. Once he restores that, he tells his people in the civil service to say, guys, can you correct this? The register's record to show the true reflection of the leadership of the party. Then we're on our way to go. They've done on humanity. In our African tradition, death is sacred. The dead are treated with reverence. Families are accorded the highest respect in matters concerning their loved ones. To storm a mortuary, seize a body, and subject it to procedures without consent is not only unlawful, it is culturally offensive and spiritually disturbing and empty. If a government can act with such disregard towards a former head of state, we must ask, what protection remains for the ordinary citizen like you and me? This is a dangerous precedent. This incident sets a chilling precedent for Zambia. That the state can override families at will. That court orders can be ignored with utter impunity when inconvenient. That truth can be manipulated through fabricated claims. That power can be exercised without accountability. Fellow Zambians, this is not governance. This is unchecked authority, an extreme abuse of the people's power conferred on those who govern on behalf of the people. A call to the church and traditional leadership. At this critical moment in our nation's history, I wish to make a solemn and respectful appeal. Firstly, to the church. I wish to call upon all church mother bodies, bishops, pastors, and faith leaders across denominations to rise and speak with one voice. This is a moral issue that transcends politics. The church has always been the conscience of the nation. Therefore, I urge you, Mother Church, to publicly condemn this sinful act. To stand with the bereaved family in their time of distress, to remind the nation and its leaders of the sanctity of life and death, to uphold Zambia's declaration as a Christian nation, not only in word, but in action. Silence at such a time, dear church, risks being interpreted as acceptance and conceit.
We have since secured the body, as I did tell you, that we only managed to secure the body around 11 p.m. the other day, and we have since taken it to a secure place, and looking forward to other processes and examinations to ensure that what was done was correct, and also to have our own opinion as regards what could possibly been what the state may have been interested in as regards the body. That is where we are right now. We have since secured the body, as I did tell you, that we only managed to secure the body around 11 p.m. the other day, and we have since taken it to a secure place, and looking forward to other processes and examinations to ensure that what was done was correct, and also to have our own opinion as regards what could possibly been what the state may have been interested in as regards the body. That is where we are right now.
Good day and welcome to today's broadcast. It's an urgent broadcast. We didn't intend to broadcast today. We are supposed to broadcast tomorrow on Wednesday. Today is a holiday and we had hoped that all of us will have a holiday. It's KK's Day in Zambia. This day is very conflicting. I don't know what we shall call it. Sometimes we call it KK's Day, but remember, this is a day also our heroes in 1993 on 28th October died. The entire national team, technical staff and administrators, including our pilots that died, off the coast of Gabon on the same day. It was a tragic day, and it's a day that Dr. Kaunda died. So you call it KK's Day. What should we call it? This is a day we are remembering today. KK's Day I would call upon government and all of us to find, because it's KK's birthday, titled like Nelson Mandela. I think what we're supposed to do a good deed to remember Dr. Kenneth Kaunda as our founding president. It was declared when President Kaunda died. But also, it overshadows that tragic memory of the loss of the national team, technical staff and pilot that died, off the coast of Gabon. And I think as a country, we need to reconcile the two on this KK's Day. I don't know what you think. You can type in your comments what you think of this day and what should be appropriate. If it's Kaunda's Day, what do we do with the national team heroes, that died on this day? We've summoned you for an agent broadcast. Share, tell us if volume is okay, picture is okay. Sometimes we go ahead and but my parameters show that volume is okay. It's a matter I worry about most of the times. We've summoned you for an urgent broadcast on this auspicious day when we're celebrating KK's Day. I think the most public issue was a marathon that was done, and I think there were some activities by the Vice President. We just need to define this day. Why have we called you is that the Attorney General of the Republic of Zambia, through his lawyers in South Africa, have responded to the High Court order. Remember the family, when the family learned that the police with Zambian officials were at Two Mountains, a funeral parlor in Johannesburg that has been holding the remains of the late president, they had come to pick the body. The family panicked. The family summoned the lawyers. The lawyers pleaded with this team that came that the matters were in court. The team disregarded, convinced the authorities at Two Mountains that there was no court process barring them to take the body. They told Two Mountains, as you saw the detailed explanation from the Attorney General, that the appeal by the family, according to the Attorney General, had lapsed. In the Supreme Court, where they were supposed to file various documents, the Attorney General said he had conducted a request from the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein, and he was told that the appeal has lapsed, and he moved into action to pick the remains of the late president, and even issued a public statement to that effect. So the remains of the late president on 22nd April, that day, on Wednesday, were sadly released to the Attorney General under the guise that now a High Court order that he had obtained, a High Court judgment that he had obtained on August 25th, 2025, last year in August, he says now that was a reigning authority he was relying on to pick the body. When the family lost the body, the lawyers were very, very quick. They went to court, even if it was in the night. And in the night, the High Court, the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, convened, heard the lawyers for the family, and ordered the immediate return of the body. The copies were circulated. I was conducting a live broadcast, and that day I was supposed to host Makebi Zulu, to speak about the politics. He hasn't really had a full meeting since he took over the reins of the Patriotic Front when he won that election. So we're supposed to have that broadcast that day. But he was unavailable, and then we later learned why. The body was missing. The body was collected by the Zambian official, the South African police, and they said that they were now relying on the High Court order. And you should go to what Mulilo Kabesha, he disclosed all the facts in that first write-up. He's trying to walk back, but, internet has memory. We have videos of him, and we have ZMBC broadcasting his position. And he was served. Makebi Zulu confirmed. He had just been told that we have obtained the judgment, and Makebi Zulu in his announcement said the Supreme Court has issued this interdict. Of course, we later learned an hour later that it was actually the High Court that had issued that urgent interdict to the Attorney General of the Republic of Zambia, to the South African police, and everyone that the agents of the Zambian government mentioned. They said they were with the police. So we, the lawyers for the family sued in that matter the South African Police Commissioner and the South African police. And they sued the Foreign Affairs Ministry. There the ministry is called departments. They are departments, they are not ministries. In South Africa, all ministries are departments like it is here in the US. So the Department of International Relations and Cooperation were sued in the event that they were processing a repatriation. And Mulilo Kabesha was also sued. And the court gave clear directives that Mulilo Kabesha, the South African government, the South African police, and the South African Police Commissioner must return the body immediately. Those documents were saved on all the parties. And Makebi Zulu also did the honor of, after getting the copy, he also personally sent it to Mr. Mulilo Kabesha. So that a case, and Makebi Zulu was in Zambia. He immediately, the following day, rushed to South Africa. And it was on this broadcast when Makebi arrived, and I was live around 20-21 hours, and I was saying we're trying to reach Makebi Zulu. We finally found him, and he had found where the body was. The body was taken to a forensic pathology center in Pretoria, and according to the records, a postmortem, a 5-hour postmortem had been conducted in the morning, despite the police who are said to have conducted the postmortem having the court order from the High Court, despite Mulilo Kabesha having the court order, despite the South African government having this court order to return the remains of the late president to the family as appointed mortuary or to Two Mountains. And remember how the UPND and its media took glory that the Two Mountains as undertakers and funeral parlor refused that the body should not come back. And who would blame Two Mountains? Look at what they have been through, and probably they haven't even been paid for their entire work they've done the last 11 months. And every day there are people coming up to secure the body, to demand for the body. Always they've been struggling with this. Their business is disrupted because the Zambian government has always tried to pick this body just from day one when the late president died. So when the body moved to Two Mountains, you can imagine the trauma the administration and that business has gone through in the government trying to get the body at all times. Even when this event occurred, when I heard that the police were there, it's not the first time. They had tried again in February. And they had tried in December. They've been trying at every turn. And I thought, they are decent people in South Africa. They'll be told the matters in court. We didn't know that Kabesha had told them a lie, that there was no appeal in the Supreme Court. And we didn't know that he was trying to hurriedly repatriate the body to Zambia. We didn't know that they had planned for this postmortem. We had no idea. Because when you look back, you realize that this was a highly organized operation to pick the body, do a postmortem on it, and probably bring it to Zambia and bury it. I don't know what your interpretation is, but when you look at the facts, so Makebi stumbled upon a body that had undergone an operation for 5 hours from 8:30 to 13:30. And Makebi Zulu and the lawyers picked the remains. Because the order, remember the order called for the return of that body to the family's appointed mortuary or to Two Mountains. And we already know what was happening with Two Mountains, where they were as a business and also as administrators, were also traumatized. They said, Imwe, uyumubidi mwasenda, without the family, without the consent of the family. Because remember, Two Mountains are part of the legal process. They are also sued among the defendants, because they were the ones that were in custody of the body. So they've been following these matters. So Kabesha lied to them that the Supreme Court appeal that was in Bloemfontein by the family had lapsed, and therefore the only authority he had was the August 25th, 2025 High Court order to pick the body. And they've been part of the process. Because they arrived at 15:30, from the logs we've seen, they only picked the body after 18 hours. And they transported it to Pretoria. And we have seen that the body is logged in at the pathology center, the forensic pathology center, at 18:36. That's when the body was brought in. So at least Two Mountains tried to resist like they have done. But when you are told that this matter is no longer in court, what can you do? They surrendered the body, thinking they are dealing with honest and decent people. No, they were not. So Makebi found the body that had body parts removed, because the forensic exercise had been done for 5 hours. And you see the Attorney General today, and this is the purpose of the broadcast, is that he has rushed to court and is telling the court that he wants the body of the remains of Zambia's sixth president back. He says the family obtained that court order. They didn't disclose 3 major material facts. That they didn't disclose that the process in Bloemfontein had lapsed, that they didn't disclose that the police were conducting an investigation, that they therefore obtained that body from government which had obtained it, or from the South African police. The order is even very confusing. And Mulilo Kabesha, the underlying thing is he wants a body back. He wants it back. And this development has just happened this evening when they saved the family's lawyers over this matter, that in responding to the ex parte order, remember there was an ex parte order, this was an ex parte order directing everyone to go back to status quo, take back the body where it was, or to the family's appointed mortuary. Then they were supposed to go back and then argue the case. So Mulilo Kabesha's Attorney General is now responding to that ex parte order and is accusing the family that they've obtained that body, without disclosing these material facts. And what is interesting is what he is quoting. He's quoting the Inquest Act. And in the Inquest Act, he has quoted parts which says whoever is conducting the post-mortem has a right to remove body parts for purposes of that post-mortem. Why is Mulilo Kabesha insisting in that court document? And they are now relying on the police and quoting extensively that it is okay for whoever has conducted the post-mortem to remove body parts. You can read the order, and they've quoted it extensively, the Inquest Act, that any organ or any body part for purposes of that inquest can be removed. That is where we are. They have removed body parts. And they want now to begin justifying, because they are no longer in custody of the body. And they have removed body parts, but they are now justifying why those body parts are missing. That those body parts are missing because they've been taken, the tissues have been taken because of the purposes of the inquest. Now let's come back to the inquest. Ubufi bulayano kubwela. The progressive forces of South Africa has applied to the magistrate court that they want an inquest done. They are alleging that the family reported that the late president could have died, in unnatural circumstances. And they are saying there were public statements made that the president could have been poisoned. This is progressive forces of South Africa that has gone to court, and the matter is in the Gauteng magistrate court. They are asking, number one, that the inquest be authorized. Because remember, these are third parties. Inquests usually are like Comrade Comrade KBF stated yesterday, is done by the family, mostly the family. Who has locus stand? Who has consent if your loved one is poisoned? It's usually the family. But here they are an NGO that we've already linked to the Zambian government, where we have seen even the famous Yui Maketo from the Zambian High Commission paying even for their place where they had the press conference. So these so-called progressive forces of South Africa coming to the court and they are demanding, they are saying, no, we are interested parties because we have learned that the family are complaining that the late president was poisoned. Of course, that's not true. These are government machinations. But let's discuss the facts without giving opinions. So progressive forces of South Africa have gone to the magistrate court in Gauteng. They are demanding for two things: that the magistrates grants them authority to have the court do an inquest. Number two, to do a postmortem on the remains of the late president, to prove or disprove the assertions that the late president was poisoned, as earlier announced by matters that were in the public media. The magistrate has heard this application and has given them 29th May 2026, in which he is going to determine whether an inquest should be done. Number two, whether a postmortem should be done. So tell us why Mulilo Kabesha is telling the court that the South African police have authority to conduct a postmortem when the request for this postmortem and this formal investigation for this inquest are in the magistrate's court. The very authority is quoting. He is not disclosing, again, he's accusing the family of not disclosing material facts. He is not disclosing the material facts to the High Court, where he wants a body given back to him, that the court has not granted the inquest and has not granted the postmortem. The magistrate will rule on 29th May 2026. So under whose authority did the South African police, under whose authority did Mulilo Kabesha and the Republic of Zambia do postmortem on the late president without authority, legal authority? And let us assume that the South African police are doing their own investigations and they want to do a postmortem. Again, there are rules and regulations. The late president was not a vagabond. He's not a body they found on the street. He has family. He's represented by lawyers. So the South African police cannot do a postmortem without the presence of the family or the lawyers or any appointed agent. They cannot do that because this is an identified body, it's a represented body, and the family is there. So all their arguments are collapsing. The arguments do not make sense. But what has happened today is that Mulilo Kabesha has responded to the expert order and he wants the court to give him back the body. And he's quickly gone to the Inquest Act, justifying why body parts are removed from where a postmortem has been done. He has quoted it extensively that the body parts are removed for purposes of medical of tests, associated with the postmortem. What are the facts? The facts are that they have collected body parts from the late president, and this is showing in their own documents. And they are already preempting this matter because they don't have the body. The body, as you heard, Makebi Zulu confirmed that the family now has the custody of the body and that the family is trying to examine that body. So Mulilo Kabesha tukira kwambo kulanda chawe, if the body parts are missing, alilanja kuliba South African police. Why is he talking on behalf of the South African police? Is he the official spokesperson for the South African police? Why is he informing us about these missing body parts already? That even if they are missing because the person who's doing a postmortem requires to take those tissues. This is a matter that has aggrieved all of us. All of us have had a family member who has probably died in unnatural circumstances. And we all know that when the person dies, and you do a postmortem. In fact, the experts always say put them to rest immediately after the postmortem. And in fact, you have seen when you go to any burial site, sometimes there is a matter the police or the courts or families have ordered for an inquest, they are fighting. Maybe they are suspecting the widow has poisoned the late deceased person. You have seen that the postmortem is sometimes done at the burial site. So you and I are already worried on the state of the remains of the late president, because they may not be preserved properly, especially after Fidaba Waka Kawile for 5 hours. They've opened up the body. It's very difficult to preserve the body. I expected government, even at this late hour, to abandon all court processes. This is now my opinion. And to immediately re-engage the family. That we want to say, okay, things have happened. We regret what has happened. Maybe let's see how we can bury the late president, because the state of the body at the moment, all of us know, will suffer rapid deterioration. There's no science that will keep the body that has been opened up in that manner. And even the family must have pressure. I think maybe just cremate, because remains are remains. Cremate or bury quickly. Anyone involved in this matter is now extremely worried about the remains of the late president. Uyo Kabesha, abwerera court at Impenich Tumbi. And if the body parts are missing, are they already? It's not me, it's an inquest act which authorizes the person who's doing a postmortem to get those body parts or body organs or tissues from those organs. He's already explaining himself. I don't know what's wrong with President Hakainde Hichilema's government. I don't know where we are is already very bad. You've stolen the body. You've conducted an illegal post-mortem. Body parts are missing. And you should act with a lot of remorse, because this is a very sensitive matter. But no, Kabeshalefu Afyechitumbi, they will know they have no right. They didn't disclose material facts. It's not every battle you win in courts. You should feel for the widow, you should feel for the family. You, Kabesha, you are doing it at the taxpayer's expense. You can fly to South Africa anytime. You've hired the best lawyers in South Africa at the expense of Zambians. You are doing all these in the name of Zambians. Why don't you do the decent thing? And the urgent matter we have is the state of the body. The family must be pressured. Maybe cremate the body. Maybe bury the body. Because no family member, no one would like to see their beloved one, their remains degenerate into something you can't look at. You don't want to do that. But this is what this state has done. To that effect, yesterday, the family, Mashele lawyers, their lawyers, wrote to the state and to the Attorney General outlining how an illegal postmortem and illegal removal of the body were done. They've told that the family is totally aggrieved that you stole the body and you've conducted an illegal postmortem, and they've put it on record. I personally, taking advantage of my position as former Zambia's High Commissioner to South Africa, I've written a letter to the president in South Africa and alerting him to the desecration of the remains of the late president. And I've stated that your government has no right to desecrate the body of the late president and to violate his right. These things have been done in the name of your officials. Either you've collaborated or you've colluded with the Zambian government, or the South African police, by the Attorney General's statement, is now blaming the South African police that are the ones that are doing these things. But again, we are aware that the South African process that would allow the police to conduct a postmortem have not matured. The judge, the magistrate, is supposed to rule on 29th May 2026. We want to Today we are not staying long It's just a broadcast, urgent broadcast to alert you that there is a development. Mulilo Kabesha naya ku Pretoria High Court is responding to the expert order. Aebaba court at the government, the family of the late president must return the body to him or his agent immediately. And he has now even relied, is in those documents, is shifting the blame to the South African police. That the South African police have a right to conduct a postmortem, even remove body parts. Tenendelanda, Nikabesha. Maybe let me get what he has said. You see in his application, the authority is relying on the Inquest Act. If a postmortem was done and body parts were removed, it is not us, it's the South African police and those conducting the postmortem. Because according to the law, they are allowed to remove the body organs, body tissues, or any part there that is required for their investigation. Therein lies what they are already defending themselves. Over an illegal postmortem, where there are body parts of the late president missing. At the moment, they do not have the body. And that's why even decisions like to bury the late president or cremate it would require again thought. Because then what do you do with these missing body parts that have been taken without the authority of either a court or law and without the family's consent? And to emphasize, August 2025 judgment, what did it say? The August 2025 judgment was very, very clear. It said government were granted authority to pick the remains of the late president and conduct a state funeral in his honor as demanded by the Zambian law. It even says you lay him at Embassy Park. But it was a conditional judgment. It says the body must be picked, transported, and buried with the presence of the following: the late president's doctor, Dr. Njovu, the ADC to the late president, Chanda, and the family member. When abayabulo mubiri, there was no family member. Takwariba Chanda, takwariba Dr. Njovu, there was no family member. Even when the lawyers told them the matters are in court, they said, no, the matters have lapsed in the Supreme Court. And we have evidence the matters have not lapsed in the Supreme Court. Because the notice of appeal was filed, heads of arguments were filed, there was another document that should have been filed, there was a holiday in between, but they filed the following day. And even if let's assume they filed it late, they have a right to apply to, because the court is already seized with all these documents. They have a right to apply to file any missing document out of time. So the Supreme Court process is still there. The appeal, the family has stated, is still there. Then you rely on the High Court order. Here, August 25, last year, you say we were given this and we are collecting the body. You collect the body without Dr. Njovu, without Wachanda, without any family member. Mwaya itwala Pretoria, Mwaya chita conduct a postmortem. There is no authority for the postmortem. You collect body parts. And then after that, you now say, no, it's not us, it's actually the South African police. If what at all you was South African police. What was Yui Maketo doing at the collection of the body? And what was Yui Maketo doing at the postmortem if the Zambian government is not involved? Why did Attorney General issue a comprehensive statement to celebrate we have the body? We are relying on the High Court judgment. And ZNBC Times, Daily Kalemba, everyone carried the statement by Mulilo Kabesha. Did they ever push up postmortem, fiakosa? They realized they had disobeyed the law. They had ignored the High Court order that said they should return the body immediately. And Asambok Sabina Machao, Niwa Police, there's a matter in the Randburg magistrate. We have brought the facts correct. There's a matter in the Randburg Magistrate Court where the Progressive Forces of South Africa has gone to court and wants an inquest, because these are strangers to the late president. They also want a postmortem. The magistrate has heard them, and the matter is coming up on 29th May 2026. Why would the police then pick the body and conduct a post-mortem and even remove body parts from the late president? How fyenu, and you are not even handling it any better, because now you are I don't know. So now you've gone to court in your submission, and now you want the body again. You are pushing the lie to the family. No, the family didn't. The court, the family didn't disclose that the matter in Supreme Court had lapsed. No, they didn't disclose that there was an investigation by the South African police over this matter, so it didn't disclose. Give us a body back.
We have since secured the body, as I did tell you, that we only managed to secure the body around 11 p.m. the other day, and we have since taken it to a secure place and looking forward to other processes and examinations to ensure that what was done was correct, and also to have our own opinion as regards what could possibly been what the state may have been interested in as regards the body. That is where we are right now.
The remains of the sixth president have at no point been in the physical custody of the government of Zambia. They were held by the South African Police Service throughout these few days which have passed in connection with their inquest. Secondly, the government of the Republic of Zambia has respected and will continue to respect every order issued by the courts. That is not a matter of convenience. It is a matter of principle. Thirdly, the question of how a former president of the Republic of Zambia is to be laid to rest is not closed by the latest court order. Dr. Lungu served as president of Zambia for 7 years. He was head of state, head of government, and commander-in-chief of our defense forces. The duty the Republic owes to that office is not extinguished by a single order on custody, and government will continue through the proper legal channels and with the patience this matter requires to ensure the honors due to a former head of state are properly discharged. To the Lungu family, the position of the Zambian government is what it has been throughout. The value of a former head of state was never meant to be a contest, and it need not remain one. Government's willingness to engage with the family in good faith to find an arrangement that honors the sixth president is undiminished. Our position remains unchanged.
He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about.
Mr. President, your officials are not acting in that wisdom. What they've done is they picked the body without authority of any court or any family member. Mr. President, after they picked the body, they subjected it to a post-mortem despite an active High Court order. And from what Mulilo Kabesha is saying here, and let me quote the the specific acts he has quoted in the Inquest Act. He says, for purposes of any examination in subsection 2, any part of any internal organ or any of the contents of a body may be removed, and any body or any part or any internal organ or any other contents of a body so removed, therefore, may be removed and taken to any place, maybe for medical tests and stuff like that. And I was saying, why is Kabesha now quoting an Inquest Act? That's not necessary in this process, because no court in South Africa has directed that the postmortem be taken. Why is he quoting this law extensively about body parts that can be removed and taken anywhere? He's quoting the law. Yet the law is quoting, like they always do in Zambia. They do an unlawful act and then they read you the law, as if their illegality must be justified by the law. We want to call, let's hear what your views are. We called for this urgent broadcast for this particular matter, that there's a development in South Africa where the Attorney General has applied to the High Court and he wants a body back. And he says the family didn't disclose material facts when they obtained that court order. Then he has extensively surrendered the matter to the South African Police Service, that they've a right to pick anybody and conduct for their own investigations, conduct criminal investigation, even do a postmortem and remove body parts. That's where we are, and that's the purpose of the broadcast today. Call, the lines are open, and let's hear what your views are.
We have since secured the body, as I did tell you, that we only managed to secure the body around 11 p.m. the other day, and we have since taken it to a secure place, and looking forward to other processes and examinations to ensure that what was done was correct, and also to have our own opinion as regards what could possibly have been, what the state may have been interested in as regards the body. That is where we are.
Hello, caller. Let's begin talking. Let me hear from you.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Ambassador, I think ili ashiria wa former president wa Edgar Lungu liambo kula tukalifyo mtima sana. Uyu mufyashi muliro Kabesha takwatoruse. I think abantu chintu beminine pofye kufa yokutiro kwebati basende ama body parts basende lyayo okutwala abeno ko bengatwala kuma issues ali bayikata kuma rituals yayo, because if fyonse fere kuma courts uko ni cover up fye iya kutiro kwebati yo issue abantu bamone kwatiri mbifye kwati bambe kola punda tawe nali ya kukoti nali ya kukoti ero ni ishibene isho balefu na abafumi yako ku mubiri wa former president. So abo bamuliro Kabesha na bagainde chirema bale bomba hand in hand. If you remember kwalipo issue kunu mokuyansha kushamba, I think there was a message ya fumine kuri Levi Ngoma iya ishile ya kuri bamuliro Kabesha ilio balera nshanya pama issues aya fyamuti ama chamu zicha kututa chamu muramu ine mukoti ba Esther Lungu ilo kwa lidi ashiria ma line of art kwa kweli ashiria ka blue lead ilo ino mukapose mukoti no yukasobe kumenso yo line of art ukachitefi wafibika pamo aba abantu baletu angala fe kumana. These people are criminals. We are dealing with the criminals. These criminals, they are now governing this nation. So at the end of the day, abantu balai kala kwatirimbi tabeshive ifo bekalire pantu akola safe ngabachitechi baya kukoti and they are very good mkufa okurufya abantu. We are dealing with criminals. So now if inde myo Ambassador imitima shabantu nashikalipa ifi alambo kula chitika muchalo tafya wame baleke ko balungu urupolo wabulu bashike pantu balungu bali kwata ma followers, balungu bali kwata ma supporters, abo bene baleleta ma supporters babo ukutiro kwebati bale ya kuma courts like ama NGOs yini ku South Africa, even other people they can take nabena action munshila yimbi ama followers wabalungu so beyambo kutira bale basunkanye sana family yabalungu balungu bali kwata ama followers so ama followers ngabayima bakachitashani bali abantu tuwabaleke pofyawe so those people they need to respect the former president na abafukano kumushita respect former president and abantu nabekala tondolo thinking bakekala punch no rupo bakomfwane nenshila bakasange akutira benga twinga shikira mu former president now it seems like they want to show their muscle kula sunkanya urupo rwabalungu
but a lot of people want to speak and I don't want to stay long. Natasha Bayama, thank you for your contribution.
Okay,
hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Yeah, hello?
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'll be very brief, but straight to the point. Ambassador, we all know this. First and foremost, thank you for what you are doing. We know you must be an angel on this day that you have never had any bereavement in the family, whether you have close friends or whoever. We all know that sometimes if we differ as a family and friends, usually funerals always bring us together, unite us. And it is at this moment that I thought the HH and his team could have used this funeral to bring the family and himself to forgo the past and move on. And from the day that this thing happened, you know what comes in my mind is nothing else but the postmortem. The person who witnessed the postmortem is too young, very, very young, to see the remains of the head of state, the former head of state. You see, even you can go to military, you can go where you have people who are assigned at your rank. If you are a warrant officer, your fellow warrant officers will do that. What more at the level of a presidency? There must be people who stands, even in death, they respect you. But look at how the man has been belittled. This is one thing that it hurts and it hates more. Allow me in my conclusion to borrow the statement that the other brothers just used. Lungu he still has followers. And if those followers are pushed to the corner, they will rise. Not even the army, not even the police will protect him. There is no army that can defeat its own people. So let us not to have this spirit of defeating in single as a nation. No, we can still learn from other countries to unite this country, which is a beacon of peace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Amwambicha kubalira pondere tokutotera kufuma kuli imwe panchito yesume mlechita na te imwe na tatuishibe fyonsefe. Bati bamwamba chimwe chile mpapusha. Ndiye papa efyo bale ingira mu South Africa okwambira fena bakateka bamo kwati takwa bana intelligence. Shishibe passport bakwete yakwe bati bitubala ingira mu South Africa munshire ya musangwe fino kulambu kuchite fintu izi mu charo chimbi. Bamwamba vuche chali bafye nomo muntu fo afya rafyo ku bantu. Unga yachite ekintu kya musango fere kyakula bali kwate entambi mu kyalo kyesu munini nsoni kyalo kyonse fe kirero kyapalifwe ero kimbi kyakwirisha bamwambe kyampapusha kyakwebati Edgar Lungu bali serving in Zambia for 7 years. But South Africa, they know Edgar Lungu very well. Even LYF in South Africa, the first thing he did, he had a courtesy call to the president. He went to see him and tell him to say, I'm here. But kutibaleke ekintu kya musango filia abantu bakwata gas yakwe batitibala round kula kiti musango filia na bakapukola bonse. Where was the Minister of Home Affairs and Intelligence to allow such kind of things to happen?
Thank you very much. Let's take as many calls as possible. I don't intend to stay long today. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contributions.
Hello, good evening, Mama. I'll remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Iliri ashitwa likalazi, but I think number 2 bonse tuambe okulanda po. Ine muku tontonkanya kwandi. If you feel so for badeshta, they are just testing waters. Abadefa akube civil unrest, abadefa akube fiongo, so that bakashite postpone my elections because they've seen that they've done a lot of wrong things. If you never be badishta defective, but you actually in parliament, but if bashiri bade fulapo nindalama, if you know fia kwatwa kuma koti, badeti tikishaba nabo, so fion sefi, ma gimmicks yabo fia kwatwa, badefa ama Zambians waka fulwe, because it's no manage book to carry back. But farmers Zambians waka fulwe when they rise up, but and that you na to postpone my elections. Ekutontonka ya kwanza because the kwa mpampa mina waso. Na chilamo na ngwabantu bengalanda tubulo shit abano bulo shapa bali fafe ba kwa kama gimmicks ya kwa TV kale mufifulo fo bai kalamu. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contributions.
Mama Ombe.
Endita.
Bamwamba ichanta shinde foko mitotela panchi tomle bomba na amakale sami pele pali didi ashi ili very important kwisambele ya chalo. Ichakubalila po bamwamba muinenuka ndefo kumishipikisha no kumipele nkosho kuti mwe leso mwineo kamilambula mulefo kulete chintu icha yana. What I'm trying to say, you are trying to bring the truth to be known to the world and to the Zambian people. Such things are not easy. Ndelo mbafele sami pele amaka na wisdom kuti mupitirishe kuti abena Zambia beshibe kweba kuti ichishinga chili pesa. Natotela sana bamwamba pamaka yenu le sami pela. Icha number 2. Ilwe ya shia ba President Edgar Lungu ya umfiki kwa tumubili na uluba. Ba ateno general ukwimina kwe chalo cha Zambia. Ba levela bena Zambia kwe bati awe na tusendo mubili lumaboko Yesu. Ndefa mumpela kufia kashita panono na tusendo mubili lumaboko Yesu. After ba esala ndabena Zambia tumwasenda shine mubili lumaboko yenu. Baka besha futu wasapunda tawe ifo mubili utatuishi betatwa umonapo ipushena bena South Africa ba police wa South Africa ifo bale chitira mufyabo fyonse ifo tatuishibe ba mwambalelo ba teno general abena South Africa babe kwati na postmortem bachitile ifo fo bena Zambia twaishibe yali yaba South Africa beka bepusheni ba South Africa ndei bukisha family yali lembaleta baloya balemba makalata ne mwalemba ukuyepusha tulondolwele ni filistike pamubili wa balungu kulingana nga ubuteko bwa South Africa filishani bamulelo ka weshalelo wese mkulando kwebati twebe nikulumubili wa balungu twefo mubili wa balungu ubufi bulano kubwela ero kabiri ndelo mbako abena Zambia aba bantu te bantu abasuma bantu bamwa bankalwe abantu bamwa babi. I've never seen evil people like these people. Na mumene mwebale elia nabo lieni nabo kwena kuntanshi mukachimona ililitipo utamba fe kuntendekelo n'abana mukwete n'abana abaleisa n'abana balesa kuntanshi bakashama ifi mule chitefi litipo kabili litipo eli ndefo kulanda ko pali Prophet Mordecai alikwete nisu wakwali ni Queen Esther ali upilwe munganda ufumu ilio wapingwiro kwebo kwati abana ba Israeli baraipayiwa bonse. Prophet Mordecai alishibe kwebati umupususho bwabana ba Israeli ngata.
Oh, brother, the line is cut. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ni anonymous wa mwamba mkoi.
Ba anonymous landeni po.
Mkoi. Awe kwena ididiashi. Nadi kaba. Rodi ya tushupa. Ine ni nkwata kufifia kulanda fibidi. Ero fya kulanda fya kwebati ididiashi neba mwambife ninga chita suggest fya kwebati Makebi Zulu ili aketelele mwenekera sana politiko kabili Makebi Zulu ine NPF wa mwambai so tulepo apetuwe fair Makebi Zulu ifya wani spokesperson kutu watemwa vya dropa so that madi ya shari la veru wafumako kozi Makebi Zulu fenge kwa fikala government tetishi na ena ikala chaya so due to the fact that Makebi Zulu alexita challenge
Hello. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Mwabombeni.
Ambassador. Ine chimpa pusha sana ba ambassador na ba konfwa. Abantu she efe bale kwaya. Tabasendere kuri na findi bashire mu ama boti pateto barefu abene bafunyanga nindushanga nifinshi bakwanyishe bushi barefu bakonkere no twashara kureto barabiremo ifyo turera ndokwe aba muliro ero na kainde irefu ayikwenshita ya August ngafika ngatwachinja obuteko aba bantu aba irefu ayikwa ifunderike se batandalira ngakuti baya kucharo chabene bayaona ula amafunde akuri wati mo mucharo chesi chazama. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, August is our
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mamba. My name is Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jay, make your contributions.
Thank you again for the information that you've given us. The thing is this, I think this whole thing, they can't hide. You know, God in his own wisdom, when sin is conceived, it has to reach, you know, to its conclusion. And this is what is happening. This one for me, and any Gambian should know about. This is evil, this is witchcraft, this is satanism, this is, I don't know what I can call it. There is no way. Now, you see how he's trying to preempt the things that are going to come. You know, and this is what this Attorney General is doing. Vakabesha, stay away from ECL's body. You've done only the damage already. And this will not die. It is in our hearts, it is in our minds. And we Zambians know it is just a matter of time. I thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. Let's take as many calls as possible. I'm not staying long today. We should end the broadcast. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Caroline. I'm calling from East London, South Africa.
Caroline, make your contributions.
Yes. Ine ndefo kulanda ndefo first took me totera mwempalume ba mwamba padi fiose from late to chitrafe ma Zambians. But ine ndefo kulanda ko first yakwe bati na mwishiba aba na inofo ne mbona fe kumona kwandi aba na abafulungana balelanda ifintu ofo bale efyo bachita efyo balelanda fyonso fo bale efyo bale chita na balenga amazambian ukwisuka emitwe nokumona okotulea nikuisa bushe kitwafayo kwebati ichirwani kituteke because ababalwani abashakwata emiti mashabantu tabakwata emiti mashabantu tabonfuira abantu uluse so ifo kwema zambian bushe tulefo kutekwa kumaka ya mulwani because maka ya mulwani otulimo bamwama maka ya mulwani aya balekwa bonse bakatujoinisha obusatanist because ubusatanist omo balimu uwe muntu ushakwata enkumbu but inocho ndefo okulanda fe pali bamwamba chakwe bati umubiri wabalungu funishe fyose na abantu bonse abamchalo nabeshi bati ifefo bale chitabaka yinde bena nabatitikisha amazambians so umubiri wabalungu tatulubula kuli fyonse fe bachitire yes it's sad Yes, bali yangala mubiri but if yourself of darkness na fimoneka. So inochontemeno kupali fiance. Otherwise I was very disturbed. But pali inonshita kabale isokolola bamwamba na bapapa kalama na totela.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
This is Mama Tim.
Mama T, make your contributions.
In the first, in the fire, me Sheko Bamwamba. Is it possible that unto Twashika, Yoine, ama laws, can they allow us to bury? Muipusheko mweba kweteko obo mwinge pushana babata. If we can bury, let's bury, and then itumone nomba ukwakuya kuntanshi. Especially in South Africa, kokwine ngacha kweba tuntu batu sumuminisha tushiko kokwine chala bafye bwino. Elo nomba chonde fo kulanda inecha kwebati. Ififi no povyambiro kuchitika. Chao mfuapo nangu official nanikani. A government official was okwisa tushita address nangu ba president pantu chikuru chicha chitike ba president bene bakainde chilema. By now he should have addressed the nation to tell us, to say this is what is happening in our nation, but he is quiet. They can do whatever they want because challenge. What they did was wrong. And then if number, ubufi mwatwala obufi kwa bene kuna twali mijaira ati muri babufi fyofine nangu mwalanda twamiroresha nomba mulefo okubikamo na government ya uko kwa bene uko mulebepo obufi nomba obufi ububwine kanshi wabashani kanshi ababene abantu ero imwe bakabesha imwe echo mwaladirira ati ndefo ayo omubiri again futi mulefo ayo omubiri wanshu omubiri omulefo aya nomba tere mwalisu mino mwebena te omubiri ninkwata natukwata nifwebo omubiri. Ba South Africa teti bakwate amakaya kusendo omubiri ushiru wabo apashiri abantu abafumine kono ku government and then imwe bakabesha imwe tekwe bati bakainde tabeshi befifyonzawe mulebe ombera pamo nomba ififyonze ngatafifikire nokukonste pali apeno lo bafuire fe batata balungu bakainde ngabadishire president BC television nokushita address ichalo mwe bantu bayisiyewo n'abafwa ichachine nali bakanya okuya ku kipatala ichachine twali bakanya about 3 times nombe fifya chitika. I'm also human, I also err. Mulenje banangu ba family ngataba umfwire ero ayamaliro balando kwe batitabale mfwaya, of which I understand. He should understand why they didn't want him kushta nani kano kushta preside pamaliro ya balungu. It's because of the things that he did. That man went and removed him from the aeroplane. That all that we know. So if you say if you are if you kushta apply wisdom. Number wisdom apatapari.
Mama T, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mama T.
Abantu ngabali umfwa no kushika ngatwali shika.
Thank you very much. Let's allow as many people as. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you very much, my brother. This is Muntu Mususu calling you from
Muntu Mususu, just hold on. I put you on speaker. Yes, Muntu Mususu, make your contribution.
Am I loud and clear now?
Very loud and clear.
Now that it has been adequately and significantly established on what is at play, that all of you now, your minds have been opened up, I think that we need to start now looking at the way forward. Zambia is a Christian nation. Zambia was declared a Christian nation, and God's hands will always be on this nation. My brother Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, when KK was dying, he gave a speech, and I've been looking for that speech. And it's important that that speech is read by all Zambians. That speech that KK gave, as he knew that these days were drawing near. Zambians must pay a lot of attention to that speech. And I'm saying that that speech actually should be enshrined in all institutions when you have a government that is the...
Which speech is that?
That acknowledges. The speech where he was saying that where he was talking about the altars, where he was breaking the altars. He was talking about the altars. That speech was very direct. He talked about the altars that this country had entered into and breaking them, and reaffirming Zambia's declaration as a Christian nation. What is happening now, my brother Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, is God at work. Because when people were talking about these things, they appeared to be fools. Things of God are foolishness to a carnal man. Now, today, everyone in the street of Zambia, you can see for yourselves. Edgar Lungu was boarding a plane. President Hakainde Hichilema is the president of the armed forces, including the intelligence and everywhere. He has all the information. He knew all the information about Edith Nawakwe's health condition. He is the president. He knew everything about the condition of Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu goes to board the plane, not to go partying, but to go and seek medical attention. You go and stop him from there. What is that? So you people are talking about mess. What mess are you talking about? When you know this person has got this type of an illness, he's going to seek medical attention, and you stop him. All those were sufficient indicators that people of Zambia should have understood. President Hakainde Hichilema can't listen to anything. You have now heard that these people, they only listen to to their masters in the organization. You have heard the matters of the organization. And today, there is one official who was even admitting and confirming his involvement. So what we are saying is that we are appealing to everybody in this country to say, please, it is God at work. From that speech that KK gave, everything evil that will happen in this country will be exposed. From that speech that KK gave, it means everything that will come thereafter will be exposed. KK said that I don't fear anybody, but the only person I fear to bring division in this country, it is this person. And are you seeing what is at play today? Look at the level of division in this country. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to air our grievances. This is the most tragic opportunity that Zambia has ever experienced. What we are saying is that we should remain prayerful, and we thank all these church organizations that are conducting prayers. And we ask them to continue. There is no way evil can strive over good. Everything these people will do will be exposed. All their evil activities will be exposed. For now, what is there is that people must remember that when God says that my people who are called by my name, if they confess their sins and seek my face, I'll heal their land. We didn't listen when God was saying as Zambians, we must seek forgiveness and ask God to continue fighting for this country. This country is under heavy and serious spiritual attack.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got 2 callers waiting. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mr. N from Lusaka.
Mr. N, make your contributions.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwapole Nimkwai.
Bane butukire ni mukulande ndeshe nabalelo lela bafula lota tuleikala sana.
Ambassador umulimo mulebomba wukankala sana wukalamba sana koko mwabo. Nomba ikintu fecho defo okulanda. Aba bantu aba vavi mitima efe valechita vakonko muviri mpaka vakonko muviri wakwa lungu valungu mutuntulu wavo vale vakonka vale vafyenga twale mwana fiti vale vafyenga nomba mpaka nomuviri waya ukonko kuya lepulo muviri vamwamba abantu kuti vachite chili chonse ukuthi vashale mu buteko nangu imwe benoko vamwamba uko mwavoko mule vakefu sana fyo mule vakefu vantu ava kuti vachite chili chonse.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Mr. Mwamba. Good evening.
Just a minute, Mama. Just a minute. Yes, Mama. Make your contributions. Yes, Mama.
Mwamba. Musaga calling you from Bonge.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Mwamba, ejijajitika mwandi mujisi aba bantu aba batusampula maningi alimu batuhiyanso ni maningi swebo notuzwa umusanzo ogu gambo malwe haya ngo baleta munyega malwe ya maningi batusampula ino ndisolabo kwamba ola ku bantu bazwa kwesogu kuti amujilanga ni eji jintu eji jaboleji ino tugamai mazuba abola akumbere bantu banotulanganya buti munyigo muno gambo tonse ino banotulanga mbuli kuti tuyeya mbwa yeyo yusimalebi ulelanyiga batusampula maningi mwandi nche andabo kwamba kuti malwe haya ngo baleta munyiga teja none yape. So that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Mwamba.
Thank you very much.
Very sad. Very sad development indeed.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Mkwai.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
I wanted to say something. You know, Mamwamba, this evening and today especially, I've been so disappointed how we are handling this issue of protecting ECL in death as a patriotic front. This whole thing, what is happening, we don't have strategy. We cannot be a people that all of us, we just want to be presidents. Let's have responsibility in the way that we are going to handle this presidency and protecting our late president.
So many guys. Sorry, it's cut. Be brief and be clear. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Bamulenga landeni po.
Mukongo vyanya wa mwamba ndebu totera kuli bonse na imwe bene kuchira pafyo muletu wafua kulanda paliri ya shiva ateka abatusungire mu cyaro for 7 years lelo cyo ndefu ukoseresha bena Zambia chakwe batitie ntufuka menge fe twafuka mapali 10 months bo ba president oswa ikalira mochari panste itali tuinenuka lelo tuimvana chifukushi because abene balishire babomfya amashuyi aingi eyo tumona nomba mule posera pa social media pa pene tule ya mona ero tetwale ya mona ni histoire ya mona pali lero mule tubukisha vipandu mwali sungire twale ona bene nga basa kuchitunji bale rondorola fyo bale pitamo ne fyo bale chulamo bali filandire ne fikesa tumbuka so tiene vetu bya bashi pano kumona kwe bati findu tule pitamo ni shita iyo le sale fwa ya okwisula pafya chitiki panjite italia kwe bati bakutira
Boniface from Chingola, please call back. The line, I think, just dropped. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador Tandiwe Ngoma on the line.
Tandiwe from Slovenia, make your contribution, my sister.
Yes, Ambassador. Really, my heart bleeds to see that the government has insisted on wanting to have access to the body, wanting to have the body of ECL. At first, they managed to have access at the pretext that they wanted that the court order had lapsed. But after Bakwata backlash, or whatever they decided to do with the body, and the court order from the court which told them to return back the body, we saw that they had no intentions of returning the body until President Makebi Zulu had to go and demand whoever to blank the body. Fast forward, I thought after all this embarrassment, the government was going to let go, just like we were told to say HS is ready to let go. But if you have Wanga, this is how God exposes people. Whatever they've done is not enough. It looks like HH Ethiopia saying the letter feeding enough. He wants to close his ritual by ensuring that the president, the former head of state, is put in that war which he dug by Embassy Park. That's why the insistence. Because by HS what they've done to ECL is not something that any normal person would wish even on them. They went and mutilated the former head of state. They did that. They left him. Kuman claimed bodies. And as though that's not enough, they want to cleanse themselves by saying it's the South African police that did that process. If at all the body parts are missing, then this is the way the procedure has to be taken. They are trying to preempt whatever they've done so that in an event that the family discloses whatever has been missing from the former head of state's body, then they will say, no, it's the police who did it. Apatofikila bena Zambia kale paper. To lay paper and Mwebena Zambia, this battle is more than what our eyes can see. This is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual battle because this insistence pamubili. By HH, maybe let's put things to the correct perspective. The Lungu family, in the first place, they did not deny Ukwebat Balungu Mabapela state funeral. All they asked for was dignity. And they requested that HH respects the wishes of the dead. The wishes were that he should not be anywhere near his remains, nor preside over the funeral. This is something that the family communicated to the nation. And the family was ready to bring the body until that leaked program, no HH has to be there. No, 10 months ago, HH was ready not to attend the funeral. Again, if their body parts missing, then it simply means the police would have carried them for whatever reasons to do with your postmortem valley pang. They still want access to the former head of state's body because they want to put closure to their rituals. They will not rest until but then I'm calling upon all prayerful Zambians to rise to the occasion. This thing is more spiritual than we think. There's no way somebody can be so obsessed, no movie league to this extent. And you still want this thing to be in the courts of law. I expected that after if you speak about HH, and withdraw the case and let the family bury. But they still want the body. Fire for what? Whatever you got, is it not enough? You want the body for what? Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
Message of independence to the diaspora. Dear fellow Zambians in the diaspora, on the occasion of the 56th independence anniversary, allow me to greet you all in the name of our Creator, God Almighty. I would like to firstly thank His Excellency Dr. Edgar C. Lungu, President of the Republic of Zambia, and his government for leading us through this difficult period during which we are under attack from the COVID-19. It has not been an easy task and continues to be a challenge not only to us as a nation, but the world at large. Let me thank you for this initiative to celebrate the 56th independence anniversary with us here. It really shows that you have not forgotten where you come from. Remember to love the Lord our God, all our heart, all our soul, and all our mind. Do unto others as you would have them do unto us. Let us love one another and remember to maintain our motto, one Zambia, one nation. Consequently, let me now take this opportunity to urge you all to remember your history and the sacrifices your forefathers made to liberate us from the yoke of bondage. Countrymen and women, you must bear in mind that freedom is not only about political independence. We must also strive to eliminate ignorance, poverty, and disease. To fight these vices, it requires concerted efforts from all well-meaning Zambians. I wish.
Now, this is not the video I'm looking for. The caller talked about the video where President Kaunda talked about the renunciation of any order that were created against Zambia. I thought that was a video because, I'm live and I just downloaded it, but I'm still looking for it. It was a very profound video where President Kaunda literally affirmed that he would we should dismantle evil altars. Because remember, we had presidents that had died in office, and that statement was very significant. I'll look for it and I'll play it. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Queen Pumi.
Queen Pumi, make your contributions.
Thank you so much. It's a very sad development which has happened today. And for forensic autopsy, because Mwachilanda, they took some body parts. So I was just doing a research, and for forensic autopsy for poisoning, they look at the liver, the kidney, and the stomach, and they say that they don't remove parts. They just remove sample issue, and they put it back. So the sample tissue is just a small piece of whatever organ that, for example, in food poisoning or whatever poisoning, the 3 organs, they get samples from there. So to hear that Nabadina Babulama parts and they're actually kind of justifying why they do it is really disheartening.
Yes, my dear sister, you are my co-anchor. So I'm worried about the manner in which Kabesha has relied on the Inquest Act. First, what is in court is for him to return the body. He's just supposed to defend himself. But in his defense, he's washing the matter to the police. And then he's quoting the Inquest Act that says when a postmortem is done, according to the South African law, any body part, any body organ, any body tissue can be taken and can be taken to any other place. And I was wondering why he's relying, first he's pushing the matter to the police. And he's already telling us that law, that body parts can be gotten from such a body. And the law he has quoted is very extensive. A body part, body organ, and body tissues. So I'm asking, why is he, first of all, pushing the blame to the South African police. And why is he talking about missing body parts?
And we are not naive. We are not naive. Thank God we are living in a technology world where all information is at our fingertips, you know. And this 48 hours already. So all toxicology reports, stingani poisoning, we need the results. And there is nowhere. That's why a family member should have been there to ensure that they didn't get a part but a sample. Mamona. And lastly, I want to say that at this point, they are blaming the South African government. So I think we as Zambians should seek for an independent mediator, because now it's like the South African government and the Zambian government are working together to confuse us. We all know what has been happening from Judge Ariemo, 12 missed calls, Nina Kanga Pushi. So we as Zambians need to find an independent mediator, because, you know, it's like, I don't know, I don't trust the South African government at this point. They have not made a statement. They allowed their police to violate our president, our former president. So this is my contribution, Ramwamba.
I like your part where you said, according to your investigations, if they are pursuing allegations of poison, which they are alleging in this case, is that they can only take tissues, not organs or body parts. Thank you for that information. Thank you, my dear sister. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mwabombeni mkwaya Ambassador John Mabo kuno ku Italy.
Mwebe na Italian mwabombeni London po mkwai.
Yoko ena tuliwe na Zambia kuno kufiaro tuwa isako fi Ambassador.
Mkwai.
Although it feels really strange to be, you know, some of us we've always been like proud Zambians abroad kuno tuwa isako. Apa? Tatishine fi mfuika. Nati ayamatenisha chalo ture mfu Ambassador but mulise wino.
Iyo tulifia basa kamana ta tulelala ngefine mwamona chidiwa umfafie chi. Even when you were somewhere you rush just to come and have these discussions with the people of Zambia.
Nomba Ambassador momo alibombele chalo hello I am about the type fyenu te tomofveva therefore I can never assist immediate stress na emotional psychological stress mle tamo you people have contributed positively to challenges. It's hitting new laws if some of us we never thought we would ever live through an era if you're palaso. Therefore never assist myenu ikave jam ikave stack muli fight of light any other fight. We want the Ambassador because if they stick that. Although I'm saying this, I have 3 questions for you, Ambassador. So iti muno scruples na obsession yabo. A question yandi ya kubadila. Obsession yabo with the former ruling party and its leaders. Yafuma pesa because pako koranangu tapasoswa 4 years Ambassador. Icha kwewa ati obsession vari konka no muntu na kumfwa. Question ya number 1. Erecha number 2. Shishi went ambisha kumwensu na Eastern Province, but cremation tayari possible kusta cremate umubiri. Ero ba usunga fe. If you refer to China na ngono kuno kuita refu ba staff ya diwe ba staff cremate. Ero ba bikamu kuno family something like bari kwata bene fi ba kumfya nka chef ba fita msungu. Pakti kwabo kusta avoid ifi. Second question. Third question. But Madam First Lady, she given any statement then? My question is not what Ambassador is to reiterate. From your perspective, your obsession, you have a ruling party with the former party, even after all these years. The party they defeated by a million votes. Yeah, for Makuisa. Number 2, cremation, video our former president who is late. If bare tipushe chalo Ambassador abantu ngatabeshi be special ababa Gen Z ibifire ekitika kuti pwisha ekyalo omuntu wakitire serve ekyalo ero ewali wa last wonsaba president so tokatapu balifo instead tumuperi omukinshi nokumukita dread kuno twakisana abuse sana kwati bonse ekyalo kyesu kwati tetwakwattamana nafa omuntu owakitire serve country ero wali wa last ero nomba kubikula mu bonfya like this not to say bana na standing yesu Musadik region katushinga ilina bwino nomba na diplomatic relations in South Africa. Eyo ambassador Charles ni madam first lady ushe ishwa stance yabo nga yabashaninga mwaje kwa kwefuna chira fu kuipusha kwena. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will end the broadcast on top of the hour. We will not go beyond 22 hours. Is that 22 hours in Zambia? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. Are you able to hear me?
Just a minute. Yes, caller, we can hear you now.
Okay, good evening, Ambassador. And I just wanted to have a very short contribution. I hope it will be short. I've had a lot of questions. According to investigations that normally are done, they are done on the basis that there is evidence for this, whatever, something that you want to do. Why am I saying like that? Remember, this poisoning story, it kind of came from some places. We don't know where it came from when they said they want to do postmortem on that hearsay to say he died of poisoning. Now,
I want to agree with you there, my sister, because when the late president died, a death certificate was issued by the doctors that were attending to him. On record, there is Dr. Sandile Buthelezi, who's the Director General of the South African National Department of Health, who issued the death certificate and cited the cause of the death of the president. And he gave, there is a death certificate anyway. You saw even the state to embarrass President Lungu's family at the height of the debate. They even released that death certificate because it was released to the embassy for them to process repatriation documents for the late president's remains. So the embassy had a death certificate that was issued by Dr. Sandile Buthelezi, who explained the circumstances under which the late president died. So to come and now deal with these issues is again another matter. Continue. I just wanted to enrich your comments.
Because for me, Ambassador, I'm finding this whole thing to be really stressing on the part of the family. Because as a nation and as people who love, at some point, what they say and what they do, they do not match. You want to show, the public, the Zambians, to say, no, we are actually not the ones involved. No, it's this and that. You are telling the nation, ground. You are pushing for other things. Like now, what we thought is, now the president will let go of this. The next thing we are just being told, no, they're again asking for. They've gone back to court for some things. So you want to keep back and forth the family to just be going to court? Is that fair, really? Or is it some kind of a game? Or is it something that they want to keep Makebi, who seems to be the lawyer, the spokesperson for the family, and because he's looking at standing as a presidential candidate, and so they want to keep him back and forth so that he doesn't have time to campaign? Is that why we are having all this? Is it a game? Could you please have some kind of humanity in us? We are asking as citizens of the country of Zambia, Bakateka, have some humanity in you, sir. Whatever it is, And I hear people saying rituals, this and that. Ambassador Mwamba, if he's scared to say he's going to die, his friend has died. I mean, we are all going to die. So there's no need. He can just prove to the Zambians to say, oh, people are telling me that I'm going to use this for rituals. I'm not doing this for rituals. I just wanted to do it for humanity. But because I want to prove to you that I did it for humanity, let's bury the president and in peace. It is as simple as that. If we can apply that humanity. Ambassador, I have a question. If today I came and I said that board was not for Balungu, again on the hearsay, they'll go and start doing other court processes. I'm just asking. There are a lot of questions in my head. Thank you, Ambassador.
It's very sad what they've been saying. First, they said President Lungu is alive. They even sponsored that gentleman from Shibuyunji. Now he said, no, President Lungu was secretly buried. No, President Lungu is... We want to Akwalesa. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Sorry, Ambassador, it's me again. I forgot one thing.
Queen Pumi.
So, yes.
Thank you.
So, I want to bring Zambians, let them examine at the conflicting statements why today they say this and tomorrow they come and say this. And to me, they ingira mufenati. So, Tirefia Lelanda JJ, Bushoktifia Befia Chino, Kobati Badi, Kwadi Bokobaya Mkushita consult. Pantu kumaka yabo balesa balandefi elonga paptesh kufuti baisa chinjurura. Now, and how many times have they done this? So in short, ule tungure charo chesu ni Zambia inani pantu nganiwe wakateka ufire wapangu walandeshi widimo abantu baumfwa. You know, you stand by your word. You are supposed to be a leader of your word. But you know this thing of mailo balandefi buliabushi kubaisa bachinjura flip-flopping. So we must scrutinize Boucher. Abare, who is really controlling this country and making the shots?
Thank you very much.
We are done mourning, we have moved on. Then the next thing, a lawsuit. What is this?
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, our speakers are anonymous, Bamwamba.
Yes, anonymous.
Yeah. Bamwamba, I don't want to talk about the funeral and the burial of the late president because it's so disheartening and being somebody who's coming from the East. Okay? Bamwamba, in nature nalalanda is that if you people mweba ikuntanshi you cower, then by UPND nishimwabapela sana maka. Look at how people are suffering today. A lot of people want to kick UPND out of power, but they cannot speak because there are laws that which the opposition, some opposition members of parliament allowed the UPND to make so that the Zambians can be silenced. Believe you me, people in 2021 wanted change, but they never wanted this man. They never wanted this man. This man was rejected so many times by the Zambian people, but because people wanted the change, and they changed in a sense that they accused the previous regime of having been corrupt. Abantu corruption in Zambia tababatemwa. So they were labeled like that. But today, the same people who they labeled to be corrupt, they are in UPND. Vasted Dimare, after for 2 weeks, Edobaba Pokereka Tundu Yakuti Balia Papodium Nabamatambo that he is a clean man because by UPND they are a washing machine for criminals.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Mutu Afridishe, find a way up that you.
There are so many people waiting and we need to end on top of the hour. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Bamwamba Mwawombeni.
Ndita Mayo, Badishani. But nameless, make your contributions.
Thank you so much. Bamwamba, tuliwe na Kristo. Yeah.
kwali ba message abantu balanda okwebati ba president balungu balandira okwebati mukamfwaya na torch mukasuba. I'll take you back. Yeah, back to when Jesus Christ was crucified. Jesus Christ was hunted like a wild animal until he was found. He was tortured, he was butchered, and then he was crucified. It didn't take long, when Jesus resurrected. Mary, the mother, knelt down and cried. Those tears meant something. Ifilamba fyaba mama Esther, tefilamba balungu pali lelo nabachita resurrect nabalanga evintu fyonse kubantu bonse. Umupashi w'abalungu ewulethu pususha, so tube abakosa sana bonse betube abakosa. Nangu fyama politics nangu fya msango shani fyonse kita bantu umupashi w'abalungu ulipalwelele untu wakosa. Balilile ba mama Maria kwali ababebe lyati wilalira Maria mama we Maria Yesu pali lelo nabuka wilalira Maria, and for sure mumpashi w'abalungu lethu chita save efuna chirafu kulanda ba mwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
If I cannot move out of my country, Zambia, to go for medication at my own expense, and I'm pulled out of a plane to say, go back home and die, that for me constitutes house arrest. I will not die a peaceful move out of my country, Zambia, to go for medication at my own expense, and I'm pulled out of a plane to say, go back home and die. That for me constitutes house arrest. I will not die a peaceful death if I was to die today without restoring PF to what it is. By the way, I've been saying to people who want me to reconcile with the president that, look, the only way we can start talking about reconciliation is for the man to begin restoring democracy. And how he restores democracy to me is by restoring the legitimate leadership into PF where we were on 23rd October 2023, where we had elected leaders like myself as president and others, including our SGs and everybody. Once he restores that, he tells his people in the civil service to say, guys, can you correct this? The register's record to show the true reflection of the leadership of the party. Then we're on our way to go. They've done that with other political parties as a system, and I can't allow that. So we are going to fight. So talk of retirement, you retire when you are comfortable that things are okay. But when you're an old man and you see things are being messed up, and you sit and watch the children, no, you put on your warrior garb and you take your spear and your segai and your chamtunga and you go and fight with them. That's what they do. So that's what I've done. So I've come back because democracy has been disseminated. Democracy has been killed. You know, the political parties, they just pick and choose and go and destroy. So I should sit there that you did my part. I'm not yet finished. The party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street. somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president when you stripped me of these things? Please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says, oh, the party.
I traveled to South Africa a day after the president died. And I can say with all my heart, truthfully, that I've had the opportunity
to see the body?
To see the body, yes. So it is total lie. It is inhuman to even think that maybe somebody is telling lies. No. Our former president is gone. And he has been lying in the morgue for 9 months. It is so unfortunate. I don't know who we have become, even as a people. How we, the people of Zambia, have been able to accept such a situation. And we have to understand that there are implications. Keeping a person unburied, what does it mean? And especially one who had the key to the nation, who ruled the nation for 7 years, who did so much in the nation. You know, the inhuman treatment of the widow and the children. Do you think that things can be well with us? It can't.
And he's a man of God. Bishop, is there anything to do with the significance of a dead person, the body? And I was wondering, why is he asking? I said it's a yes and no. It depends on the person who has died. If the person who has died was endued with the power of God, the body is significant in the spiritual realm. This is why when a dead soldier was thrown in the grave of a prophet Elisha, whose mentee ran away from being mentored because he went after money, Gehazi, the anointing still remained on the body of Elisha. So later in the history of Israel, when they were fighting battle, the body of a dead soldier was thrown into the grave of Elisha. Moment it hit the body of the bones of Elijah, the soldier woke up. Yes, that body was significant. When a person was a leader and he dies, the body is significant. In the spiritual realm, they'll fight for it. That's why Jude says there was a battle between the devil himself, not the demon, Satan, and Archangel Michael over the body of Moses. Because it is significant. So yes, bodies of certain people can be significant. And there can be a fight over that. I don't mean anything. I was answering a man of God yesterday.
We want to set a precedent. Let them give us reasons why the current president should not go near the casket. And who has told them that he wants to be near the casket anyway? Who has told them that he wants to be near the casket? If they want to say he shouldn't see the body, but who has told them that he wants to see the body? Why these speculations?
Maybe it's because you're arguing that really this must happen. Maybe that's why
it's assumptions. Even the court was asking them, presiding. The court was asking, Their lawyer couldn't explain. Presiding. You yourselves, in your written notes, you were saying Bishop Alik Banda should preside.
At this point in time, as I've said already, I have not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of spreading Zambia. Apart from this is my head man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. What is it? He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed. This what is.
Okay, so we.
No, I think he will finish it at all.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Who running his
UPND?
UPND. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who are running parties, I can't see any one of them.
He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyote kula kuivukisha kana depotimo wimbo wa temenu wa katongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kuivukisha kateka kaibukumuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangu ama umebaya iyaba baume iyaba baume kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shika kukonke milimo shove ale filamba fyena mintapengo sile eti kumemo kulondolola abaleli lo wingi
iseko wingi mwakwete isaso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katusi muchibokege walibomba kale nomba mwatuja tulelilake umangana chiba
penda upanga mwine oya mwine ide dalila
kangu ya mama ala nacho mwavye mama Yeah, Ukulaba ebyo wachita obwingi ebisebo wapangiri obwingi ukuchinja olusago kumoneko busaka mama kutituwala basiyani chagwa katuse